Oklahoma City Thunder repeat as champs. Now, I have to see how, I know the Western Conference Finals series is not officially over, and even though they're up 3-2 on the Spurs right now, anything can happen. The Spurs still got life. They can win Game 6 back in San Antonio. I'm assuming that the refs are gonna, they're gonna be on a revenge tour and just give them the favorable whistle that they obnoxiously did to OKC last night. That got, OKC another blowout win against the Spurs. After what a lot of us witnessed towards the end of the third quarter, where those calls were just so obvious that for whatever reason, the refs just refused to make those calls. Heck, we gave Mitch Johnson, Spurs coach, a technical foul, because Mitch Johnson was rightfully complaining to Tony Brothers, one of the worst refs that I've ever seen in NBA history, because the refs just completely ignored the challenge. And I think that because the ball, as Dreamers Pro stated, went off of Chet Holmgren's foot, or instead they called it on Wemby or something like that, and they wanted the challenge, but they ignored it. So, yeah, even Shannon Sharp was alluding to that, to the rigging of Game 5 in his Nightcap podcast. So as I sit here today, as I'm heading home right now, it's nice and sunny. Hopefully, looks like it's not going to rain anymore, so should be good. So if the Thunder somehow do win, let's just say they win this series, and for all the games that they won, like let's say they win Game 6, and the calls are going to be, it's going to be the same as Game 5, but maybe not nearly as ridiculous, right? OKC wins, and when they get to the finals to face the Knicks, and the Knicks will get out of rhythm, and the refs do the same thing that they did to the Spurs, rigging the games, right? If that happens, and OKC does end up repeating, and a lot of their wins are blowouts, are blowouts, against the Knicks, who have been one of the hottest teams in the playoffs this year, then Adam Silver, dude, he needs to go. All right, the NBA world needs to petition for Alice Silver to go. I'm dead serious, because for him to allow this much flopping to a team like the Thunder, and look, I know how this happened for a team like Oklahoma City. I think they're getting these habits from, I hate to say it, man, as a Laker fan, and I know since LeBron joined the team, all of a sudden we have become one of those teams to manipulate the refs into giving us a whole bunch of calls, and getting calls our way and all that. Like, for how many seasons now? Last season, the season before, I remember that one game. I think it was since that game when was it? I think it was that game when the Lakers were supposed to. I think that layup that LeBron was trying to make, and he clearly got hit, and no question about it, that was supposed to be a foul, but it was like in the final second or so, and the game still went to overtime, and the Lakers eventually did lose. But that was when I think LeBron and the Lakers started to complain and really just that's when they reported the officials about that one call, and all of a sudden now it's become to where everything is just pretty much going our way, even if some of those calls against most opponents should have gone their way. Instead, we have just been given those calls as well. It's like we stole their calls, that should have been rightfully given to them. We ended up stealing those those calls as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the calls from the refs. And look, I as a Laker fan, I'll be willing to admit that, because I know that I'm not gonna be one of those many Laker fans, and even just LeBron fans who support the Lakers because LeBron is there, that we refuse to see that Oklahoma City is the only team that is getting calls their way, and on the way the refs rig so many of their games and all that. I'll be willing to admit that, from what we witnessed, and I feel like the Thunder have learned those habits from us. I mean, I could be wrong. I may just be speculating, but I feel like the Thunder have done that. Learning. I think they pretty much have seen how we played, and I know Alex Caruso, AC Fresh, won a championship with us in 2020. We did it for Kobe, right, in the bubble. And now he's with OKC, and I'm not saying that he told the entire OKC team to do the same thing that we're doing, because Alex Caruso wasn't on the team anymore. When we started getting those ridiculous treatment, from the refs, right? So I'm not gonna sit up here and act like OKC is the only one. However, I feel like they got those habits from us. I know we're not the only team either. I'm trying to name a few other teams on the top of my head that are doing the same thing. I know we're clearly the other team, but if I gotta take a wild guess, probably, man, I don't know, dude, because I'm not seeing it like I just don't know. I really don't know when it comes to the rigging. Because I want to say Denver too, but it's just mainly Joker. Joker, gets to the line a whole lot. I know Giannis too. Who else? Look at Doncic. Well, he's with us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I really don't know. I can't really name another team other than us two who are, doing just as much. So I don't know. But this is more an Adam Silver, responsibility, in that he's gonna have to do something with this whole treatment of OKC just getting this ridiculous treatment, loyal treatment from the officiating, to where if for whatever reason they repeat, and because of a lot of the flopping that they've been doing, and especially SGA, who just for whatever reason he jumps and falls like he's being touched, and you know what I'm saying? I hate to tell you, dude, it just feels like someone from our team, one of the most notable like noticeable guys. You know, was very known for that, right? That's why I hated the Miami Heat back then, because they were doing a lot of that flopping, and you know, it was just so ridiculous to watch. And I remember I was just so upset because I hated that super team, and you know, rightfully so, right? And so I thought they were the true villain, and now I'm seeing OKC do the same thing, and I feel like they're getting these learning habits from that guy, right? I could be, and once again, I could be wrong. You never know, but this is what happens when that certain guy is one of the faces of the league. Some people say he is the face of the league, and you know, to see this happen, especially under Silver's watch, yeah, man, it's a lot of factors that gotta be, you know, considered as to how we got this far, and how a lot of people, especially the NBA world now, is just starting to witness a lot of what OKC has done. You know, you gotta think about it, like the load management, the player empowerment era. You know, never mind the play-in tournament and the in-season tournament and stuff. The play-in tournament I'm cool with now because there's a lot more competition on both conferences, 1 through 10, right? Assuming all teams are healthy. But you know, as far as like these other factors, it's a major concern, and obviously, you know, the officiating has gotten worse. You know, we all know that as NBA fans, and to see what has transpired from a lot of these players based on, you know, the transcending behaviors of a lot of these stars, superstars, and all stars. It's just so out of this world. I mean, you know, factor in all of that stuff, and it's how it's all leading to this, you know, the unfair treatment of some of these really, really good opponents like the Spurs, man. I mean, look, for OKC to be like this, I'm not really going to fault OKC for doing this on purpose, because I know for sure they just had to learn this from this certain guy on our team, because that certain guy on our team was notorious for doing all those acts, those ridiculous acts. And who knows? I mean, I know there's a lot of other guys are doing it too, like Jimmy Harden, Luka, and you know, there's a lot of them. Ice Tray. It's ridiculous to see a number of, you know, even star players, role players, just commit these acts, and next thing you know, it probably inspired OKC to do the same thing, and hell, which is why, you know, hey, we're part of the parody era of championships, but now this time we really want to be the next dynasty and what have you. SGA is notorious for just jumping, taking a jump shot, attempting a jump shot in midair. Next thing you know, he just falls, somehow gets, you know what I'm saying? So this is more of an Adam Silver issue. He has to fix it. I mean, there's no other way. Like, he is primarily responsible for all this crap. And, you know, you can say it's the other guy too, the other guy on our team, you know, but really it's Silver, the number one guy. So, you know, I don't know how many more years he has on his new contract. I think he's till 2030, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, dude, this has just gone too far as like, you know, the flopping and these other egregious kind of acts. And I think that, you know, Alice Silver needs to do something, which I do not know if he's going to do it. But I'm sure if this was David Stern, God rest his soul, OKC would not act like this. I can guarantee you. OKC would not act like this under David Stern's watch. So you guys let me know what you think. All right? Peace. Thank you for watching, everyone. Like, share, and subscribe.